Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is the August, I don't even know what day it is. And I can't see the date here. What date is this?
It's the 21st.
The 21st, August 21st meeting of the Mansfield Downtown Partnership Committee on Finance and Governance. And I'm calling the meeting to order. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to address the committee, or have we had any communications?
We have not.
Okay. First item is the approval of the minutes of our March meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Ryan, you're a voting member on this
I was
one.
going to say, I'm just reminding myself, I am a voting member of this one. I'll make a second.
Okay. Any comments or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. The financials from the third quarter of the current fiscal year. Kathleen, walk us through these. Is there anything here of any significance? And I think you wanted to talk about format.
Yeah. So this is the third quarter of the fiscal year that just ended. The financials for the last quarter should be ready in time for our next meeting, but because it's the end of the year, there's extra steps they have to take. I don't know how Cynthia normally did this, if she would walk you through page by page. I would say overall, there's nothing that jumps out in terms of anything odd or unusual. In terms of format, I did have some questions about what the committee would like to see going forward. So if there's questions on this actual report, maybe we can start with those.
The primary thing is difference between that's obvious is that UConn makes its full payment at the beginning of the year, and we put it out in quarterly payments. So it looks like UConn is paid, and we haven't, but that's just because we do it in pieces.
Correct.
In looking at this, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. Is there anything that anybody has any questions about?
No questions here, but I like your question, Kathleen, about how can we make this a little more digestible for our meeting purposes? Just rethinking format would be nice.
Is there any reason to include the town square summaries? I mean, we built the town square quite a while ago, and so yes, we have a balance that's available to spend, but I don't really see why we should be looking at this every quarter.
That is a question I had for this group, and I believe that this is a 270 fund. So what we could do is include it in the other summaries of the 270 fund if you wanted to just keep it in mind. I think that what that is we had money left over, so if there's something that needs to be replaced or repaired, we would draw from that. We haven't had to draw from that recently.
Right. I think it was used for some of the new furniture on occasion.
Yes, this most recent round of furniture and umbrellas came from the Nature's Medicines Fund. So that was all taken care of through that. But I mean, that is one that I had flagged. So if you don't feel that that's one that you need to have a report on each time, I can take that out.
I don't see why, because in some ways it's misleading. If somebody doesn't know that we collected all these monies while we were building the town square, it looks really odd. I mean, it looks like CVS has given us $100,000, and that money has been spent long ago, and it's not part of our ongoing programs. So I think it is misleading in a way. Ryan?
Yeah, well, I guess in a similar vein, the report itself, I mean, at the top, revenues received to date, which is kind of open to interpretation, but when these expenditures are totaled below, year to date expenditures, and this is more like, if I'm understanding, I mean, this is like lifetime to date, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely not year to date.
I wonder if there's a year that begins that period.
Well, I think the most recent thing that we,
Expended money on?
yeah, when the adventure park was celebrating its, I think it was its 10-year anniversary, they donated $500 to something on the square. And I can't remember what that ended up being. I'd have to go through Cynthia's records if it was a tree or bike racks. That was a more recent addition within the last couple of years. Everything else was money raised to build the square and money spent to build the square. So I think maybe what I can do is I'll ask Patricia to just put this in the 270 summary. And that way we can just keep a track
Yes.
make sure that nothing mistakenly is removed or something, or if there is an expenditure, then we can report it there, but we don't have to see these contributions that are 10+ years old.
Right.
Okay.
Likewise, Kathleen, sorry, I was a little distracted. You might have said this, but so the $500, which may or may not have been super recent anyway, but that was the last revenue. When was the last time we expended funds from this?
I would have to ask for more detail for
Okay.
finance or go through Cynthia's records, because as you noted, this shows total expenditures, and I don't know where that broke out, the 500.
Right. Yeah, we certainly, we haven't, and this is like you said, a 3/4 year report. Clearly $1.28 million wasn't expended year to date. I'm just curious if like the last expenditure charged against the Town Square Project Fund was, was it 5 years ago? Was it more recent? Was it what? So
I have a feeling there was a time when there was about $12,000 in this fund, and some of it was used for the streetscape projects of some sort. But that could have been, years ago, and I could be wrong.
I can for the next meeting, I can go through and find out when the last expenditures were. And kind of itemize that out for this group, so just to refresh our memories, because I can't say with confidence right now when that was. But I can find that out.
Okay, is there anything else about this report that you have questions about or concerns about, or anybody else does, Shamim or Ryan?
no, it looked like on the expenditure side, you'd expect to see somewhere around 75% expended 3/4 of the way through the year. So it's tracking a little less than that. So no, didn't see anything that was eye-popping or concerning or anything.
We'll probably
No
end up with
question.
Some
Thanks,
salary
Shamim.
savings.
Yeah, I think that we're going to end up with some salary savings.
No questions on my end.
I had a couple more for you all about the report itself. The Store Center project analysis hasn't been updated in 2 years because that is complete. Would you be okay with me removing that from the summary?
Yes.
Okay. And then the 2 other ones I wanted to question were the Nash Zimmer Transportation Center operating statement and the parking garage operating statement. And I'm happy to keep it in, but I did wonder, this is not something that, unless I'm misunderstanding, the partnership does not oversee these expenditures. We pay rental income to the town.
Right.
We help manage on the day-to-day basis, like make sure, you know, nothing's amiss or whatever, but we aren't authorizing repairs or taking care of that budget.
Right. This
Um,
is if basically your question is this is a municipal fund. So obviously, which to what you're just saying, you know, there's a nexus here in the sense that the rental income the partnership pays shows up here, but yeah, this is not partnership budget. So, and it's part of the financials that the council receives, you know, it's part of like all town funds. So I don't know that it really needs to be a part of, our discussion here.
There
That's what I
was a
was wondering.
time when partnership actually mans the front desk, and so then it might have made some sense, but I think that time is long gone.
Yeah, we
Oh,
had,
library staff now, right?
yeah, it's library staff now. There was a time when there was a part-time transportation coordinator that worked out of the downstairs, but I think they were under the direction of Public Works. Um, and then we had another staff person that may have been more involved.
Kathleen, I thought that part-time person was under downtown partnership for a little while.
Maybe it was. I'm trying to think back
I think
through all the
so.
different staff people, and I think maybe there was a period, but it's been several years since we've
Yeah.
had that.
More than several, I think.
So your question is just to get rid of these lines.
Well, it just seems like if this isn't funding that this committee or the board has control over or receives, maybe we don't need to review it every quarter.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Now, the parking garage is a slightly different issue
Okay.
because there were people who wanted to make sure that that neither the partnership nor the town was going to be held responsible for losses in that. But it's clearly making money, has made money all along. It is managed by Laz under the supervision of the town. I mean, I don't see the partnership really has no responsibility for the parking garage any longer, does it?
Well, with Cynthia's departure, Maria Capriola has taken over coordinating that piece in the interim. When an executive director is hired, I don't know if the plan is to then shift it back to the
Uh-huh.
partnership. But I believe that the council receives this report.
We do.
Yes.
The
Okay.
council, yeah.
But the people on the council are wondering, why are we receiving this report? Because it was one of David Freudman's personal requests.
That's right.
I do think the profit margins, I don't remember the numbers, during COVID, like here, this is, again, 3/4 of the year. So if you kind of project out another quarter, although the last quarter with the students gone, it's going to be a weaker revenue quarter, but you know, somewhere around $200,000, maybe a little north of net income. It looks like it's probably going to be for year end. I do think that that's kind of a pretty substantial resurgence from where things were during the down years. So I don't know how that compares with or tracks with the net income that the garage was receiving, say pre-COVID, like 17, 18, 19. So I don't know if we're kind of back to normal or what, but yeah, certainly showing that it is profitable. It's not operating on a loss, which I guess back in the day people speculated it would.
It was the hot topic for several
Oh
years.
my. It was going to be Mansfield's white elephant.
Mhm.
Nobody was going to use it. It's going to be an empty hulk. Couldn't sell it, couldn't take it down.
Well, to his credit, he did volunteer at events sometimes and helped out at the festival, and I think his heart was in the right place.
You didn't know him as well as I did. Not to speak ill of the dead, but then again. All right, so let's leave the LAS report in because there are some issues for the partnership, which are interesting and important. It has to do with managing the whole downtown, whether or not the parking garage is working and what the issues are. And certainly when it got overloaded, overfull, and people were turned away, the partnership had to take an active role in managing that. So it makes some sense for us to keep watching it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Those were the only questions I had, just moving forward with the formatting of this, and I can make those changes.
All right. Is there anything else for us to discuss tonight? Guys are awfully quiet on this one.
There's only 3 of us. 4. We're
Well,
small
I
and
think
mighty.
I think we need a motion to
Go ahead.
recommend to that the financial report be referred to the board with our recommendation to accept it.
So moved.
Okay, so moved. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
So moved.
And I'll second it. I'll second it.
Tony, can you repeat what you said the motion was?
Move to refer the third quarter financials to the board with a recommendation for their acceptance.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other motions needed tonight?
I don't think so.
I can't see the agenda right now.
I think the only thing left on our agenda is a motion to adjourn.
Did we actually do the vote?
Wow.
Second on the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank
All right.
you. All right,
Moved
bye.
to adjourn.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
I think that was a second and a vote in favor, so we're adjourned.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Tony, you're part of the 10:30, and then I think I'll see you 3 times tomorrow, I guess.
Wait a minute, let me look. I only do one day.